Hey guys, my name is Massimio, and today I thought it'd be fun to go over what I believe to be some of the best weapons and some of the worst weapons for the Assault class in Battlefield 4. I did something very similar to this with the Engineer class. You guys seem to really enjoy that content, and so I figured I would do this also for the other kits. And so I've created a couple of categories. I'm going to go over why I think some of these weapons are the best. This is just my opinion. If you disagree with me, I'm not like insulting your family. I'm not insulting your manhood or anything like that. But these are some of the best weapons that I believe to be in the game for this particular kit. And so the first category that we're going to be taking a gander at is close encounter weapons, and in my opinion this is going to be a toss-up between the AEK and the FAMAS. Personally, I think the FAMAS is one of the most beautiful weapons in the game because while it does require a little bit more skill on the part of the player that uses it because you only have 25 rounds in your magazine and it has a substantial amount of recoil, if you use this thing for a couple of hours, once you get adjusted to that recoil, it is crazy how quickly you can kill your enemy. Like, there's so many moments when I round a corner, I see 2 or 3 people in front of me and they're all looking, you know, they know I'm there. I'm able to take every single one of them out because it has such a crazy high rounds per minute. Like 1,000 RPM is the highest in the game, at least for the assault rifles. And so if you're able to manage that recoil, as long as you're able to manage the 26 rounds in the magazine, the FAMAS is easily, in my opinion, easily the best close encounter weapon in the game. But if you're looking for something a little bit more reliable and you don't want to take the time to master the FAMAS, then the AEK is going to be a much more reliable pick. It has a slightly lower rounds per minute. Its RPM only comes at 900 compared to the 1,000 of the FAMAS. It's still blazing fast. You're still going to destroy people up close, but it's not quite as good as the FAMAS in the RPM category. But it makes up for that with its higher magazine size. It has 31 rounds in its magazine, so you have more room for air. You can put more bullets down range, but also its recoil pattern is a lot easier to manage. It does have a substantial amount of first shot recoil, so you do need to work around that, but as long as you're playing up close, as long as you're playing aggressively and using the AEK appropriately, you're gonna have no problem taking people out within close to medium range. It is a phenomenal weapon. The next category is medium range weapons, or guns that essentially do well in every single type of scenario. So you take this into a conflict up close, you take this into medium or long range combat, they're going to perform well in every single type of circumstance. And for me, this easily goes to the L85A2. This is probably my favorite gun in the game. I think the FAMAS is a close second, but the L85A2 is just a beast of a weapon. I know that many will claim that the Ace-23 is the quote-unquote overpowered weapon in Battlefield 4, or the M416 would also be great for this category, but personally, the L85A2 is one of those guns that just clicks with me. And I think what it really comes down to is that it has a fantastic rounds per minute. Its RPM comes in at 750, once again allowing it to do well in every circumstance. But the real kicker is that it's incredibly accurate, but it also has one of the easiest recoils to manage. Its first shot recoil is ridiculously low. Its first shot is one of the best out of the assault rifles, coming in at 1.5, and then its vertical recoil is actually quite high, coming in at 0.43, a left kick of 0.25, and a right of 0.25. And the reason why I love this combination of its stats is that while yes, the vertical recoil is quite high if you're holding down the trigger, that is going to be something that you're going to have to work around, but really the only circumstances that you're going to be holding down the trigger is when you're up close, and when an enemy is up close, it's not really going to be that challenging to deal with a vertical recoil, and it's no different than something like the AEK or the FAMAS. But as soon as you start to go for someone at medium to long range, where normally that vertical recoil would start to be a large problem, you don't have that issue because it has a very low initial recoil, and so as long as you are tap firing, using the weapon appropriately, you have laser beam like accuracy in those circumstances as well. And so if you can't tell, I adore the L85A2. Like, it is my top kills in Battlefield 4. I love this weapon, and so while some people I know would gravitate on over to the Ace-23 or the M416 because maybe it just clicks with me, or maybe it's just because I've used it for so long, but this is my go-to killing machine in Battlefield 4. The weapon that takes the cake though for long range combat is gonna have to go to the SAR-21. This thing is essentially a laser beam. It does have a very low RPM. It's got the lowest RPM coming in at 600 for the assault rifles, so that is its largest drawback, but with that disadvantage comes one of the easiest weapons to manage with its recoil, and also it has the least amount of bullet spread, so basically where you shoot is exactly where your bullets are going to land. It's got a vertical recoil of 0.18, non-existent. It's got a left kick of 0.2 and a right of 0.2 and a first shot of only 1.8. And so as long as you're using the weapon appropriately, you're not trying to run and gun and be Rambo, and you're trying to take people out at a distance, you are going to have no problem taking people out at long range. Like, the SAR-21 is such an amazing weapon at a distance. Now, before I get into what I believe to be some of the worst weapons in the game, I wanted to go over some that are challenging to use. They're not easy, but once you get the hang of them and once you work around their disadvantages, they are incredibly powerful. And the one that comes to mind right at the start is the new Bulldog. I realize that this is only available on the CTE servers, and DICE may make some tweaks when Dragon's Teeth DLC launches, but as things stand right now, the Bulldog is so much fun to use. The reason why I put it in this category, though, is that it has some pretty substantial weaknesses. It's only got 21 rounds in its magazine, so you need to be very accurate with your shots, but the plus side is it does 34 damage per shot up close, the highest out of all the assault rifles. The only one comparable is the Scar H, and it's got a rounds per minute of 700. And so if you are within about medium range of your target, about 20 meters away, the Bulldog will destroy them. This thing eats through its enemies, and so as long as you're not going through too many rounds too quickly, and you round the corner and there's only a couple of enemies, you are going to destroy each and every one of them. The problem is that because it only has 21 rounds, there's going to be a lot of times where, yeah, you can destroy maybe one or two of them, but you're going to run out of ammunition, and if you were using something a little bit more reliable that had 31 rounds in the magazine, you wouldn't have died and you wouldn't have had to switch on over to your pistol. So that's the reason why the Bulldog, while it's a hell of a lot of fun to use, it's extremely powerful, I'm not going to put this into the best of the best weapon categories. And the last one, this is more of an honorable mention, is the M16A4. This may surprise many of you because the M16A4 is not something you see very often in the battlefield, but the reason why I put this one in this category is that it's got a really fast rounds per minute. It has an RPM of 800, it's very accurate, it's got a manageable recoil, it's got a very fast reload speed, it's got a short reload time of only 1.8 seconds. That's one of the fastest in the game, but the downside of the M16A4 is that it's of course in burst fire, and being a burst fire weapon, it's going to be challenging to use. If you have a fully automatic weapon, it's going to be a lot easier, a lot more consistent to take out your enemies. But if you're able to master the M16A4, like I've gone against some people that dominate with this weapon, if you're able to work and nail down that burst fire mechanic, the M16A4 is a phenomenal weapon. Last but not least though, I wanted to go over some of the assault rifles that I don't necessarily think are terrible, because I don't think that there are any terrible assault rifles in Battlefield 4, but they don't necessarily do anything special, and they don't really bring anything unique to the battlefield, and they're overall just average weapons. And the ones that come to mind to me are the CZ805, the F2000, granted I think the F2000 is a hell of a lot of fun to use, and the QBZ951. The QBZ and the CZ805 are decent medium to long range weapons. They have a low rounds per minute and a manageable recoil, so they are great for those circumstances. But I would much rather use like the L85A2 or the SAR-21, like they just get the job done better. As for the F2000, the reason why I have this one in this category is that while it is a lot of fun to use, like it's a great close encounter weapon, the reason why I don't think it's fantastic is because it only has a rounds per minute of 850, and its recoil, its horizontal recoil is just incredible. It's got a vertical of 0.24, which is very manageable, but where things get crazy is that it has a left kick of 0.4 and a right of 0.5, and a first shot recoil of 3. Like, that is just an incredible amount of recoil for only having a rounds per minute of 850. And so it's for that reason, the fact that it has a lower RPM compared to the FAMAS and the AEK, and it's got just that absurd amount of horizontal recoil, and not even really a fast reload speed. Its long reload time, if you can believe this, is almost 4 seconds. 4 seconds is an eternity. And so it's just a combination of all of its stats. While they're nice, they're decent, like you can still do well with the F2000, the fact that all of these stats are nowhere near as potent as something like the AEK or the FAMAS, that's why I believe this one to be one of the more lackluster assault rifles in the game. But yeah, that is my list of what I believe to be some of the best and worst assault rifles in Battlefield 4. I hope you enjoyed. Let me know what you think though about this list. Do you agree with me? Would you switch out some of these guns for the different categories? Let me know down below. Until tomorrow guys, have a good one and take it easy.